Welcome back to Sports Talk with Jordan. Today we're here with Jacob and we're doing the Mets early season talk. First up, we're starting off with the hitting, which has overall been up and down to say the least. What do you think about that, Jacob?
I think the Mets hitting has been decent. I don't think there's been anything particularly special about it. I think the Mets hitting has been very decent. Of course, they have injuries to key players: Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil,
Conforto.
James Davis, Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto. But certain guys have, and of course Kevin Pillar, certain guys have really stepped up. Guys like Jonathan VR and Brandon McKinney with a big blast.
Nito.
Tomas Nito, James McCann, and with Lindor starting to heat up a little bit. And I really, if the Mets are beating good teams like the Braves without their key players, I'm interested to see what it's going to be like when they get all these near all-star caliber players back.
I completely agree. The Mets hitting yesterday, or when they won 13-2, was absolutely amazing. They had, I think, 13 hits, 13 runs, only 5 left on base through 9 innings, and people were cranking the ball out into the outfield, infield, wherever there was an open spot. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to a lot of these players when the regulars, like, as you said, like Alonso, Conforto, and everyone else comes back. Who knows? Maybe they'll be traded. Maybe they'll be a larger bench. Who knows? And now, with that being said, we're on to the Mets pitching, which has been absolutely amazing. At home, so far, they have less than a 2 ERA. Jacob, what do you think about the Mets pitching?
I love the Mets pitching, but just like the hitting, the Mets pitching staff has had a ton of injuries. Players have spent, of course, Jacob deGrom had a stint on the IL. But overall, I think their pitching has been what's carried the squad. The bullpen has been very solid, and Taijuan Walker, one of the big free agent signings, has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Mets have been cursed with injuries from hitting to pitching. DeGrom was injured. Walker was injured. Syndergaard's now shut down for another 6 weeks, and he's probably not going to come back until mid-August, I'm guessing, or that's what they said at least. Carrasco's injured. Lugo's injured, and so many others who are normally the regulars for the Mets can't pitch. But still, the Mets have been playing well with their pitching, giving up very little runs. And the Mets pitching has just been cut a lot. At one point in time, for about a week and a half, the Mets had 2 starters, and the rest of their games were bullpen games. Their 2 starters were Peterson and Stroman. That was it. Everyone else was injured and couldn't start. So, the Mets pitching, amazing. Yes, and with that being said, we're on to the Mets coaching. It's hard to talk about the Mets coaching because who knows what's happening there, but what do you think about Luis Rojas, Jacob?
Originally, I thought he was a little shaky. I think he's really warming up to where the franchise is at. I do think Luis Rojas is a great baseball mind, but I do think he has to step up to his game a little if the Mets are going to get to the next level.
I completely agree. At the beginning of the season and last season, it didn't seem like he was making the smartest choices. The Mets had like 40 different starting lineups through 60 games, and he was not very confident in his coaching. He wasn't saying much, doing much. But it's hard to run a team with so many injuries. I think there are 17 injuries. I'm not exactly sure about that on the Mets for their normal starters. But you have to give them a lot of credit considering the Mets are still in first place. They're ahead 3.5 games. So it's going to be interesting how Luis Rojas is going to progress here.
Absolutely. But overall, I think he's been pretty solid, and he's done a great job with the best team that has not had its best or played at its best.
Yeah, what do you think about the Mets' other coaches, like their pitching coach, their
I think
bullpen coach?
Jeremy Hefner's phenomenal as a pitching coach, and he's done a great job. I do think the firing of Chili Davis was a little intense. I actually loved Chili Davis. I thought he was elite. But, I think the Mets, overall, the Mets staff has been solid.
So what do you think about Hugh Quattlebaum? Because after Chile was fired, the Mets won like 7 in a row, then they went on a losing streak, and then now they're on a winning streak as we record. What do you think about Hugh?
I like him. I'm going to be honest, even with the Mets winning, I do not like him as much as Chili Davis. But I do think that he has done actually a more than solid job in replacing Chili Davis.
Yeah, and with that being said, we're now going to be talking about the Mets' future. Jacob, what do you think the one major key thing is for the Mets to be doing in the future?
Get healthy. It's very simple. A healthy Mets squad is a great Mets squad. They don't have a lot of weaknesses. I may sound a little biased. The New York Mets don't have a lot of weaknesses when their squad is healthy.
It's completely true. Last year, I think they had the best batting average between their players in the entire MLB. I think they had an average batting average of about 270. Conforto was amazing last year. He was in his prime. Alonso was on a bit of a slump, but he was hitting bombs.
I do think the Mets do have some improved hitting. I was checking the stats earlier today. Dominic Smith leads the Mets with a 2.42 average.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Aren't Nimmo and Davis like higher, or do you mean the?
Nimmo and Davis are ineligible due to the injuries.
True, but you mean out of the players playing now? Yeah. Yeah, the Mets really had to step up with their backups. I understand that the backups were not expecting to play every day. People like Nito were not expecting to play every day. And James McCann, coming into the season, if someone told you that McCann is going to start at first base, people would think you're nuts. Right?
Absolutely.
Also, by the way, McCann has been playing lights out at first base. It looks like he's been playing there for years.
He's made some nice plays in the field, and he's started to hit a little bit.
Well, especially yesterday when they won.
Of course. I think 3-4 hits from McCann yesterday.
Yeah, and finally, my announcements about my channel. We just made videos about the Giants schedule and the Jets schedule, and Jacob was in the Jets schedule video, and more videos coming soon. Bye.